What I'm quite interested in, though, that really piqued my attention was when you said, I can feel it rising. I wonder
Yeah.
if you could kind of pause a bit and reconnect to those kinds of moments and feel what you feel in your body and then describe that a little.
Yeah, yeah. It's here, isn't it? And it's a kind of choking sensation here, and I
Mhm.
can feel it prickling in my eyes here, like when you're a child and everything suddenly gets too much, and you
Mm.
can see it, and it comes out of your eyes. So it's kind of rising up here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Heart, throat. Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
And
yeah,
eyes. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. And it sounds like you caught that moment. Your memory was that you felt that moment.
Yes, yes.
And uh, usually I imagine that would happen in the midst of possibly a lot going on. So how is that, or how could that be, to be mindful and responsive to that moment?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel it quite a lot of the time, actually. And um, and I don't, and I suppose that's the bit I don't know, because when it happens, I'm going, right, what do I do now? So I've got a mental self-talk, but it's up here. But actually, you're right, because what you're saying to me is, what's the felt sense in my body? The self-talk really doesn't hit
Mm.
the actual feeling. And
Mm.
that's possibly, she says, thinking about it, as she said, that's possibly why the loving kindness works, because that's not self, that's not taught. That's good stuff. I need that going.
Mm.
Um, um, but but um, but actually, the compassion is what's needed for this bit of me.
Mm.
And that's
Yeah.
why the compassion is working, because I'm putting my hand on my heart, and then saying, may you be well, may you be happy. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so your hands are sort of showing us also something about what's needed. It's like it feels to me like it's perhaps like a response to how the body's feeling, and
yeah.
and the self-talk is important, as you say, but there's almost, it doesn't always filter all the way down to here. So
Yeah,
acknowledging that rising you
yeah,
saw, and then responding to it more with, you're saying also you feel compassion and
yeah,
the body.
yes,
I
yeah,
wonder, like, if you do that now, because the I suppose the problem is the loving kindness practice takes a while to do. So if you're right
yes,
there in the moment, uh,
yes.
what happens if we do it now, and just feel the communication of the hands
Mm,
speaking to that feeling, if it is around now?
it is.
Yeah, just let's seeing if you can experience the presence of your hands seeping in towards the feeling. Really gentle, kind intention to respond. And if you feel like sharing, if something is showing up in response, go ahead.
I'm finding that although I put my hands there, it's saying the words, and they don't take long, do they? It's not a proper practice in that sense, but saying the words, sort of, may you be well, may you be happy,
Mm.
may you know the deep peace of equanimity, or just may you know deep peace. Just saying that does have an impact.
Mm.
Or, it's the yeah, this is what I need, and I'm giving it to myself.
Mm.
Yeah, and that settles me.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the because I have lost my dad, who was the person who showed compassion. My mum's lovely, but she's not that kind of giving of love.
Mm.
um I sometimes feel very lost, and I think in these moments I would ring my dad, and that's been
Mm.
one of the problems. is this is the time when I'd ring my dad and say, da, 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 and he'd go, oh, I'm so sorry, Yorkie, that sounds really difficult. And then he'd probably say a few words, and at the end of the conversation, like this, I go, oh, right, yes, if I do this, and I feel compassion for myself, and I just need it, and it's not there. But and this is doing that same thing for myself. You know, that's what it's, and that's why it's powerful, because it's in yourself, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. And are you able to, if we go back into the body's
Yeah.
world, like, so what's happening there now? For we've done the practice, you've spoken a bit about it. What's going on in the body now?
It's still there. It's quite a strong, it's a pretty strong emotion, and the sense of kind of panic stroke overwhelm. But but whenever I give myself that, when I say those words to myself, it does calm it. It does calm it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's that perennial thing of, we're not going to necessarily transform it all in one go, you know, or fix it, but it's but there's something that eases around it, as you're describing. Yeah.
Yes. And when I think yesterday afternoon, I just had that sense that there was too much. I was trying to deal with too much, and I just thought, I'm going to just go into my room, go into my snug, shut the door, and I've got 10 minutes. Everyone's busy doing what they're doing. I'm just going to go in there, and I'm just going to sit. And I did put my hands on my heart. Thought, I'm going to do that kindness practice, because that worked this morning, and I did. And it was literally only 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And it was enough to be able to go back into the room and not be all, to be calm and not to react to what was going on, which was really good, because it meant that, family harmony was maintained. But and it was just because I was tired, and it was the end of the day, and and then I go back in, and I was able to interact in a different way, and that's what I needed to be able to do the next 2 hours.
Yeah. It's really,
there's something at the moment of having to do that withdraw and then come out.
Yes. Yeah. And do you find that you can do that enough, or is that actually really difficult to get to, that withdrawing?
I don't know, because I've really this is a 48-hour discovery.
Oh, okay. This is
we started the day before yesterday. I'm realizing that, because I just can't go on like this. That's why I just thought, I don't want to carry on like this. I need to, I was hoping that life would settle down. Well, it's not, so I'm going to have to live with it the way it is. So let's start doing that. What can I do about this? And that's kind of the question. So it's kind of looking at what, kind of closely observing what's happening. I suppose that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. So
in my head, because I'm a head person, so I'm very good at coming up with solutions in my head, but this isn't the head stuff, because it's feelings and body stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, but you found like this way to take a little oasis moment away and come back and really reset, which is just really great, isn't it? I mean, your family are benefiting so much from that, as well as you.
And to be honest, you can tell, because they know that there's quite a lot of pressure, because it's my side of the family where it's all coming from, me and my side of the family where the pressure is at the moment, and so they are guarding my space, bless them. They're guarding my times, and the disappearing me is not commented on. It's just like, where's mum? Oh, she's gone in her room. So they know that they're, you know, give her 10 minutes and she'll be back again, you know. So I'm thinking, well, I've just got to roll with that. I think, you know, that's the way it's going to be. For,
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
So is there something more, I wonder, about you know, because you're saying this is really quite new, and it's looking for how to surf that panic, overwhelm tendency that shows up. So you've got this taking yourself off for 10 minutes
Yes.
and resetting, which is wonderful. And then what about when you can't do that? How do you feel when you bring that to mind, those moments when you have to stay there?
You have to stay there. You don't get it. You don't get the time off. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask. I don't know. I'm going to ask because there's that whole thing about riding the waves, isn't there, or something, or being in the ocean, or something like that. And it's sort of when I've been feeling that, and you know, you can't get away because you're in the situation, and you've got to go from this bit of the situation to this end of the situation. There's nothing, you know, you're just going to have to ride this. And this is going to be the case in the next few days. And I haven't quite got the idea. I can see myself, you know, I can see the big waves and me in the middle of it. I can't quite remember what it is about that, you know, what it is, not that's positive, but it was sort of saying, you know, don't try and find a raft. I remember in Love with the World, and Rinpoche saying, you know, don't, or was it Pema Chodron? I can't remember. It was something about, you know, don't need to find the raft, just stay in the ocean, it'll be okay, sort of thing. And there's a little bit of me that wants to do that, because it's there isn't, you know, I might not be able to go off for 5 minutes, so okay, let's just stay with what's going on and not be afraid of it, because it will be okay. Does that sound okay? Does that sound what I mean? That's a different way of looking at the big wave, instead of seeing it as something that's going to go over my head and overwhelm me. Well, I'm in here, and I'm just gonna just go in with it, because I will be okay. This isn't a, you know, I'm not in a real ocean. I'm in you know, I'm in a different kind of ocean here. Does that make sense?
Oh yes, it does, totally. And really like that metaphor. I don't think I've heard that quite before, about don't look for the raft, just be in the sea.
Yes.
So great description, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm hearing, I think it's sort of similar to before, that you've got some great self-talk there, and a good understanding of it. So then I wonder about coming back into the body again.
Yeah.
Again, feeling that feeling, if it's still around, but this time not really doing anything about it, just noticing it. And even we can continue talking, and you noticing it, it's there, and you're continuing to be in relationship, talking. So I think you could put your hand on your heart as a sort of acknowledgement. Oh, you're there, you know. Or I don't know, what do you think? Is there something that comes to mind as to how you could sort of have that little, just a bit of awareness there and continue?
I mean, I feel it really strongly now, but being, but having talked about being in the ocean, and seeing that as a, you know, and going, okay, yeah, I can still hold this. I can hold it, you know, this is okay. Even though I feel like I can cry, but that's okay as well. And suddenly you're saying, well, that's okay, I feel like this. Okay, I'm feeling like I want to cry. Okay, it feels overwhelming. Okay, and the panic stopped now, because because I've told myself that all this awful stuff is okay, and suddenly well, it is, isn't it? You know, it is what it is.
Right.
And I can feel it in my body, and it stopped feeling choking. It feels lower down, so it feels like it's here and a little lower, but it doesn't feel so it feels heavy, but it doesn't feel tight and scary, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Kind of
totally makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's just being with it. That's just being in the ocean and not looking for the life raft, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I really appreciate how you've kind of described that in real time. Surf that wave like with me right here.
Yes.
Really appreciate
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
I also wonder if you just drop your attention down and in this moment as well, feeling yourself really grounding at the same time as this is here. Because when you described that rising earlier on, it's quite up here, isn't it? So I'm just wondering, what would it be like to also feel your feet and your bum on the chair?
Yes. 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 I nearly said the feet thing, isn't it?